Welcome to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check, waifu. Montel, is that you?
Very equipment cut.
This is episode 234 of Mic Check Waifu. Christmas special. As always, it's brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu. I am definitely ready. I have Patreon pulled up, and I did not just pull it up right now. Shout out to all of our Patreon producers that support us each and every week. Christian, the archivist, Dre, the GOAT G, Rob from Dad Needs to Talk podcast, Johnny from Shogo Ha, Ked the Pro from Chaotic Culture, Explicitly, Monique Williams, Nachi, Simi Sisse, Frozen, Saphir, and T Money Fingers. Thank you so much for producing this and many other episodes of the podcast. We truly appreciate you. Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu is where you can get early access to the video version of this podcast. You can get access to the Patreon exclusive conversational podcast, which is making a comeback soon on Patreon. You also get access to content like Mic Check mangas and Take Talks as well over on Patreon. We thank y'all so much for supporting us over there. We truly couldn't do this without y'all. It means the world to us. Thank you so much. I think we are going to do an episode, and I didn't talk to tell about this first, but I think we're going to do an episode about what the new year is going to bring for us. I think that'll be a dope idea. Hopefully he'd be down for that. I think he will. Yeah, he's shaking his head. Yes. Appreciate that. Of course. But this is Mic Check Waifu, the anime podcast that's brought to you by you, the community. And today, this week, it's a nice episode. It's going to be a nice episode. It's the close of the fall season. We're going to talk about the end of the fall. We are also going to talk about Yu Yu HAKUSHO, the live action YouTube Yu Yu HAKUSHO.
Netflix Yu Yu HAKUSHO.
Yeah. What's this?
Oh yeah. That's just precursor to when we start talking about Yu Yu HAKUSHO. That's in the Mic Check Waifu Facebook group.
So
that's the messenger group. So if you're in the Mic Check Waifu Facebook group, we got a little messenger chat in there. So we were talking about Yu Yu HAKUSHO. I asked everybody what their thoughts on it last week, and that's what they sent me. Yeah, like our Facebook page, almost 10,000 people over there like it. Join our Facebook group with over 500 other people. We appreciate it. That's the first time I've ever talked about the Facebook group. So thanks, Till, for bringing that up. And subscribe to the YouTube, man. YouTube.com/@Mic Check Waifu. I want to shout out the YouTube specifically because recently we got a new subscriber and he commented, and I wanted to shout his comment out on an episode. Aliens Exist. Shout out to him as well for commenting on another episode. I'm trying to find it. Sorry. Much love, folks.
Sorry if y'all could hear it. It is the Blue Eye Samurai episode.
Oh yeah.
He subscribed. Somebody named Shamar Pai. I hope I'm reading that name right, but Shamar Pai commented and said, "I haven't been big into anime in a while. I'm glad I was introduced to this. You guys are super chill." So thank you so much for coming through to the YouTube and dropping that comment. We appreciate that.
That's love.
And we try to be chill, man. We try to make it as natural as possible while still bringing you some good conversation. Now, I'm probably going to say a lot of stuff that make you mad. So welcome.
Me?
I'm Polow is going to say stuff that makes Shamar, I'm probably butchering your name and I'm sorry. Shamar mad because of my anime takes. Is very different from a lot of other people out in the verse. So I just wanted to forewarn you per se, because today I'm going to say something that's also quite controversial. But before we get into that, how you feeling, brother, on this Christmas Eve?
I'm good, bro. This is my favorite time of year, mostly because I like to be around family, and it's hard. It's my first Christmas on my grandma.
Yeah,
but I mean, it ain't my first Christmas outside of Ohio, so it's actually not that much adapting, which is kind of sad. But I'm good because, like I said, this is a time of year where I just feel like uplifted and good. So yeah. I'm good, bro. How about you?
I mean, same. This is also another year where I'm without mines as well, and it's rough because this was her favorite holiday. You know what I'm saying? Like, she absolutely loved Christmas. Like, we used to have big Christmas get-togethers at Grindhouse House. So it's like it's rough. It's harder than normal for sure. But I mean, to be fair, I picked back up on my streaming. So today I decided to stream again. And I streamed video for about 5 hours, and it was a blast. Like, I had such a great time again, and it felt like I never left. Like, I love my Twitch community, twitch.tv/PolowBornFly. If you haven't followed, so follow. But it was a good time.
That's exactly how it should feel, like you never left.
Yep, and it did. They were telling me they miss me and glad that I'm back, and I hope I stay. And that's always super encouraging, because usually I'd be like, I don't be wanting to play that game, but that game just came out with a class that I'm loving right now again.
Oh my goodness!
I know, bro. Her name is she's something.
15 years.
She's right. She's a class called the Scholar, and she has 2 hammers. Then she combined them to one to make one giant hammer. She's a fucking monster, dog. She like throws the hammer back.
Scholarly,
dog. She throws the hammer back, teleports to it. She got all kinds of jumps and teleport. She's insane. So check out my stream at twitch.tv/PolowBornFly, because that class is a blast, man. It's insane. And she just feels strong. Like, when she swing it just hit shit and it just feel like it hurt. Anyway, this is an anime podcast. So let's talk about anime. Tell, what was your episode of the week this week?
You might disagree with this pick, but I think it was a good pick. Even though there's a lot of still shots in this episode this week, Apothecary Diaries, man, they did it for me this week, bro.
Yeah, no, I would not be disappointed.
Okay, yeah, because I saw all those still shots and I was like, I don't like still shots, but this is a great episode, bro. This is phenomenal.
I agree. There was, we're going to talk about that later in the second half of the show for spoiler talk, because Apothecary Diaries needs it. It's fantastic, man. It's fantastic. Great show. But my episode of the week this week is Eminence and Shadow. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna say this because I said it on Twitter. Shout out to formerly known as Black Anime, but now off Black Mag, Aaron over there. He's also I don't know if he's doing podcasts right now, but he's also in the anime space and content creator space for it. And he mentioned on Twitter, he retweeted the Eminence and Shadow announcement of a movie and said, not everything needs a movie. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. It doesn't. But this one does. And I said on Twitter exactly why. It's not only is the show prime for this arc, what this particular arc seems to be, not only is it prime for it to be like a perfect movie length style arc, but the animation of Eminence and Shadow getting movie quality animation is going to do nothing but elevate the series Eminence and Shadow. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with something like Eminence and Shadow being elevated by a movie even further than it already is in the anime space. So it's like, not everything deserves a movie. I can completely agree. But there is certain times, like this one in particular, where it's a perfect time for it to be a movie. Because again, this arc that's coming up seemed like it's a perfect time for it to be like a 2-hour movie and it just be said and done. Like, I'm cool with that. I've never been more cool with that.
And that's kind of like exactly what I agree with, because like, I'm gonna be real. Obviously the movie quality animation will bolster and kind of help carry that what we've been getting from Eminence and Shadow so well.
Yeah,
but
to another level.
To me specifically, it's not even like the quality of like the animation or anything. It's just the fact that sometimes the prestige and like the cachet
of having a movie
of a movie, yes, will propel a series. And I feel like since season 1, Eminence and Shadow has had this kind of like propulsion. And then we got this second season and it still has that propulsion. Like people are following it. Yes. Even when it's not like this super high impact or super intense moments, people are following Eminence and Shadow now. When it started off as something that we weren't even sure if this was going to be like a banger. Yeah. It didn't come across as it was going to be guaranteed hit. And I feel like this movie, all it's going to do is propel it into more of like a stardom. And I feel like a series like this definitely deserves it and needs it. So yeah, that's what I would stand on. Like what you said, the timing is perfect. It's almost like they paced these first 2 seasons so well that the pacing for a movie just fits. It just works.
Absolutely, it works. And what it does is it puts in perspective why exactly it was 12 episodes long. Because at first I'm like, why the first season was 24 or 22 or something like that, and then they just dropped to 12? It's because if you have a good stopping point where you can then take the series to another elevated level. Like the last episode of Eminence and Shadow is going to be talked in spoiler talk. It just has to be, because the implications of what happened, like we got a lore dump that's like huge. It's fucking huge. And we're going to talk about that in the second half of the show, which is after the break song, which is hopefully going to be the song I want to play because it's just on fire, but I digress. I'm blown away because I didn't expect it, right? Because you don't ever expect something like this to be an Eminence and Shadow. This is like deep world lore that's Overlord quality, right? For a isekai, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy that where they seem to be taking it, because, and we're going to talk about that in the second half of the show because it's very important that we do.
I think we did talk about this in season 1 when we were talking about season 1. I feel like we did talk about this.
We did. We did, and I didn't think we were going to get. I thought it was just going to skate by with what it has going on, but yeah, I fucking can't wait. But yeah, great episodes of the week this week. All right, so do we start with you, or do we start with the close of the fall season 2023?
Yeah, let's hit the close first.
Okay, let's talk the close. So the close of the fall season. Obviously, we're not going to talk about the continuations of like, you know, Freerin and Apothecary Diaries, but they literally carried this entire season. So let's just get that out the way now.
Easy.
They're literally the best shows this season, bar none. But a lot of shows finished, and a lot of shows I didn't finish. to be fair.
So I do still have some that finished that I'm going to finish, like Goblin Slayer. Same. I only got 5 episodes left of Goblin Slayer. Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent. I'm gonna binge that, and I know I'm gonna enjoy every moment of it. So I'm cool with that. And I think we both agreed on that. Like as soon as it was done, we were gonna binge it, and now we're gonna binge it.
Yeah, so I can't wait actually. So we're gonna bring you a talk about Omnipotent for sure.
Yeah. Kingdoms of Ruin.
I am not finished.
They ruined their kingdom.
Dude, I'm 8 episodes deep. I gotta finish it, but I just don't want to.
Yeah, I got 2 episodes left, and I promise you, I'm kind of dreading that, especially after Rob J. Shout out to Rob J, bro.
What happened?
He said he couldn't finish it. He said he could not finish it. He tried and just couldn't.
Bro, I was done like episode 5. I'm like, I don't want to watch this shit anymore.
I don't think I've ever seen a drop ball so bad, bro.
Oh my God, it's like.
That's almost worse than J.R. Smith.
Oh yeah! Shout out to the Browns. It's almost like the catches that Amari Cooper had today was just fumbled. Oh my God, it was awful, man. It was awful because right after they revealed who the villain is, which I kind of knew they were going to go that route with who they were They were concealing her face the entire fucking show, which is the princess of the kingdom of, you know, the regular humans or whatever. So slight spoilers, I guess she's the bad person, but the moment you watch it, you can already tell from the moment you see her because she's covered in a veil. But the moment they revealed her and then they started doing like weird shit, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm fucking done. I cannot believe, and you can check the archives. Shout out to Christian. He probably will point out the time that I said I was done with this was probably episode. I'm gonna take a guess. Let me know if I'm right. 177. I think no. What the fuck am I? 177 is like 2 seasons ago. What am I saying? Like 227 is what I meant to say. Is my guess for when it turned sour for me on this show.
That'd be right around episode 5.
Yeah, so I may be right about that, maybe slightly off, but I do feel like I'm accurate. I haven't looked, so I have no fucking clue. But Kingdoms of Ruin, man, and what I hate the most is that we're on record saying that this might be like the biggest hit of this season. We're on record.
No, I'm gonna say you on record for that.
No, we both on record. That's the crazy part. We are. I think we are both on record saying that this show is gonna pop off.
Yeah, bro. Nah, man. Ragnar Crimson took that spot
Straight up.
And sadly, there's quite a few shows that's gonna have like a 2-week or 3-week hiatus.
Of course.
But yeah, bro, I can't believe Kingdoms of Ruin dropped the ball like that. That's some insanity.
True. And another show I didn't finish yet, but I know I'm gonna finish. I'm 2 episodes behind. Is that Spy Family season 2? That one is like it's an in between show. Like it's a good show, great show even, but something haven't been drawing me to watch it. Sadly,
it's because it's like it's one of those things where you know it's kind of like that chill fix, but then we know that this season has some action to it as well.
My God, yeah, it did.
So we know it's gonna be a chill watch. We know the quality is gonna be there. It's just hopefully the quality of that story and the characters is gonna stick around.
Shout out to Wit, one of my favorite animation studios for sure.
I think I was talking about Wit. We need to talk about that with One Piece.
I'm so glad you brought it up because we missed it last week. I wanted to bring it up last week, but we had so much going on. So Wit is remaking One Piece, and a lot of people are confused. They're upset about this, and I'm here to tell you you're wrong. And let me tell you why. Okay, I am not a huge One Piece fan. I became a fan after, again, if you go back to earlier episodes, I used to fucking hate One Piece being talked about, even though I'd never seen an episode. And then I started watching it and enjoy it. To this day, I'm about 400 episodes behind now. So, which sounds crazy, but that's like 800 something. Oh, you know what? I got this right here. What was I talking about? I'm almost 800 episodes. So I'm 760 episodes deep into One Piece. So I'm deep. Like I used to hate One Piece. Not even watching an episode, but I'm in it now. And here's why that Wit doing One Piece remake is so viable. Because it's just like, and people mentioned this on the timeline. Shout out to Dad Needs to Talk. He kind of like set the internet straight with what he was saying, but not a lot of people like to listen. But you gotta hear him, man. Dad Needs to Talk. You know what he be talking about for real. But it's like what 1999 Hunter x Hunter and Hunter x Hunter, the new one, did, right? It consolidates the story, which I'm gonna tell you now, the only problem with One Piece is the fucking pacing. The pacing is absolutely god tier awful. Like the worst pacing I've ever seen in the show, because they will take 6 episodes to run up one sidewalk. It's awful. It's so fucking annoying. So if they can cut all of that out and let Wit, of all places, the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan, one of the most beautifully drawn animation studios ever. They got Vivi Fluorite, like one of the greatest shows ever. Yeah. Like Wit is a studio that will do this right. And if they do 25 episodes of, let's say, the East Blue arc all the way up until they get to the Grand Line, that's perfect.
Cutting out the fluff,
the filler,
straight to what we need, because it's One Piece. We know it's a lot of meathead in here talking about my Nakama. You know what I mean? Like it's Nakama as in friends, family. But yeah, I think as long as we can blow through all that fluff and kind of really see what the core of One Piece is, I think it'll be fire. And
then to get a whole bunch of new fans to it.
And that's exactly what it's supposed to do, because it's so
daunting.
And it's just like saying, hey, come read these Harry Potter books, and it's like, bro, it's 10 of them motherfuckers. Right. It's 10 of them books. And they all
1,500 pages or whatever. Yeah. Yep.
Like, I'm not trying to do that. It's 1,200 chapters of One Piece, maybe even more at this point.
1,089 episodes.
1,089 episodes. And you telling me you want me to watch this? No, I'm gonna wait till they do the condensed remake of it, because yes, give me that. And me, I'm gonna watch it obviously for the podcast, but I think that, like, as someone who has already watched it, it's like, yeah, if you've already watched it, you don't have a need to, but why not?
No, I'm definitely watching it.
That refresher.
100%.
Give yourself that essentially the moment of glory. Tell you exactly why you started watching One Piece in the first place.
And it's with studios, bro. Like it's gonna be spectacular. It's gonna look so good with a Netflix budget. With studio with a Netflix budget is crazy. Because if it's one thing that Netflix do is, and unfortunately it's a double-edged sword because they do this means that they can't have as many as they would like because they do pay people more money, right? So they pay more money to animation studios, and unfortunately that's a double-edged sword because animation studios were closed down because of other studios getting paid and other studios not living up to the pay that they were given and blah 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 blah. Whole stories about it. Read them articles, quick Google search. But it's like it's sad that those studios get shut down, but it's also a good thing because it gives opportunities like with studio to get that bag on making an anime series that they probably wouldn't have got, or the opportunity they wouldn't got from anybody else. And then because y'all boy Oda is so close with the Netflix crew now, he really like, come on, you know what I'm saying?
All that money, I ain't gonna lie.
Straight up,
guaranteed season 2 and season 3 of the live action joint.
Yep,
he got a remake of his original work coming. Come on, man, Oda is definitely getting paid. His manga is still top seller. Mm-hmm. It's a victory. He got all the dubs.
Yeah, so it's this moral of the story. TLDR is that this is very much warranted. This is going to be a success, mostly because what it's going to do is it's going to take people that looked at One Piece and said 1,000 fucking episodes. No, because everybody that told you that it gets good after this or just get past of this, it's just blah 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 blah. You're not going to need that because they're going to take 25 episodes. They're going to give you the East Blue and they're going to give you up into the Grand Line. I'm guessing. It's just an educated guess.
That barrier of entry.
Yep. A hypothesis. Removing that barrier of entry and giving you some of the best content that One Piece has, to be honest. And if they can do, man, listen, if they can do get into the Grand Line, right, which, I mean, they probably will.
Let me tell you something real quick, bro. Go ahead. Finish your statement.
That was it. I was just...
I'm gonna tell you a little bit of something though. I'm gonna be mad if they do this in a structure that is like refreshing to One Piece. You know what I mean? Like a whole new structure how they deliver the anime, and then continue the current joint. The way come on, bro. You did not have to give us 7 minutes of recap still.
7 minutes at the beginning of each episode. That would piss me off so bad. But I don't think they will, man. That's never been.
I'm saying not in the wit, because the wit one's not going to do that. I'm saying like if they do this wit one and they deliver it, like they cut out all the fluff, give us this excellent pacing, to where we don't have to deal with all of that for like the One Piece long form show. It would be. It almost feels like they playing in my face.
You spitting.
Like you playing in my face by making me watch, you know, a minute and a half intro, 5 minutes of recap, showing me 10 minutes of episode, and then 3 minutes of playtime at the end.
But imagine this, Till. It's Netflix. So what if they do 25 and 40? Mm-hmm. I mean, that'd be a lot of work. So if I were 12 and 40, which is just 25 episodes basically, but I digress.
That delivery is different though, and that's why it would make so much of a difference. Because even if they gave us recap, and that delivery is so much different, because if they gave us 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and 20 plus episodes, that's fire. That's so crazy. Fire. Yeah, that recap ain't gonna be. It's not gonna feel like much. It's gonna feel like, okay, well, that is what happened.
It used to piss me off when I'm watching. I'm still obviously slowly but surely trekking through the One Piece series, but whenever I would watch it and I'm fast forwarding past the intro, the before intro, because they got a before intro. The before intro is pirates in the Grand Line. It's the announcer guy talking about what pirates are doing, and then it goes to the intro, and then it goes to the recap. So I'm fast forwarding, and I'm damn near in the middle of the timeline where it's like the episode is halfway over already till I get to the new shit. But Till, the new shit stop at about, I don't know, 18 minutes because they then got to go through the credits and then they got to do it next time. So it's like, it fucks with you because these episodes are literally 7 minutes long, maybe 10 minutes long if you're lucky. And you're pushing through. But again, this wit is going to change that, and it's going to change the game. It's going to be fucking huge. It's going to be huge in the best way. And I'm so looking forward to it because I know I'm going to enjoy that even more because I'm enjoying One Piece now. I'm a One Piece fan.
Look at you eating.
Out to hit the opposite portion of that because I was on Twitter. Maybe I just need to stay off of it forever. But I have the words, and a lot of new people who haven't heard us talk about this in a very long time, but I had the words Black Clover muted, BC muted. So if you type because and you spell it with BC, I don't see that shit. And Black Clover, they're muted in my Twitter. Shout out to Rob J for teaching me this trick, the mute thing. And it was on the timeline today of a clip of some other podcast talking about Black Clover, and people were upset at them for what they said about Mereleona. Yeah. And I'm just like, y'all gotta stop. For one, if you're gonna talk about this show, put the name in it so it's muted. All right, so I ain't gotta see this shit. And then the fact that y'all arguing about a show that never made sense in the first place is the wildest shit I've ever seen. There is nothing about Black Clover that makes sense. So whatever power systems or who's stronger than who and who do what, as long as you're getting your ass beaten Black Clover, you get a new spell. And you get a new spell that's probably going to help you win because you ain't got to learn it. You ain't got to learn how to use it. You just read it and you're God tier. It's the dumbest fucking show ever. Please make sure when you talking about this shitty show, you put the words Black Clover in it so I ain't got to see it. And that's just me being selfish.
100% Zatch Bell worked harder.
Straight up.
Every single time I'm going to compare to Zatch Bell every time because they were the original and they worked harder.
Bro, and he used to get his ass stomped.
And Asta is the only one I will say worked hard in that anime. I ain't gonna say he the only one that worked hard, but Asta the only one that worked hard. He the only one. And
even he gets spells that are ass pulled. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb.
Swords and spells and more swords and more spells.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's a dumb show. So like, just please, just put the name in it in the tweet because I don't care about no other fucking podcast.
Put the name in it so it can get muted.
So it can get muted. I ain't gotta see it. And that's both.
Do me the decency.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, that's selfish as fuck because it's both on Mic Check and Polow. So like, when
you got to mute FT for Fairy Tail and for people who take FaceTime as FT or featuring.
True. Oh my goodness, man! It's so crazy, bro. It's so crazy.
People like, I want to feature on Mic Check,
and we ain't gonna never see it, yeah. Because
of Fairy Tail fans,
they wild. They just as bad as them BC fans, but I haven't seen one of them in years. Like literally 2 years since I did that. Beautiful. I haven't seen them. It was beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful until that fucking clip went around. Like, dog, come on. And this podcast I ain't gonna throw no shade. It just seemed like it's all they talk about. But I digress. Anyway.
All right. So what did you watch this that's finished this season that's anything you finished right now that was really enjoyable? Because I know you finished the most enjoyable things this season that you know is over with. Yeah, we saving our sleepers for last, but let's talk. Oh yeah, you didn't watch this. 100 Girlfriends. Mm-hmm. It's pure comedy. I'm gonna finish it. I just didn't
Please turn it on. Because I promise you, from the beginning to where it's at now, it is actually really fucking good. Like really good. What it is what the structure of 100 Girlfriends. It has an outrageous situation. Okay, and then the situation is so bombastic that it's kind of like it's kind of overwhelming. I noticed for people. But there is an absolute reason why this is one of those shows that actually have a good rating on Annie List. Because when you have shows like this, they normally get about a 65, a 70 if you're lucky. But there's a reason why 100 Girlfriends is being coveted. And it's not even, it got like 2 chapters out and it's already got a second season confirmed. Because this show has a structure that's so good. It has comedy that's silly and parody-like. But it also has these intertwined serious moments that you learn so much like character development and even like emotional impact between characters that is extremely like deep and heartwarming, and just a main character that you could absolutely root for and fall in love with because he's honest. And he's honest in the way where it isn't the typical shy, overly zealous, boring ass main character that normally is in these harem shows. It's like, it's so unique in that aspect that I think is deserving of a watch. And it's so fucking funny. It's so funny, like legitimately funny. If you can, you know, have a fucking sense of humor. Like if you don't have a sense of humor, don't watch it. I'm gonna just tell you that now. If you can't be open to just silly shit, don't watch it. It won't be your shit. I promise you won't like it. But if you can just be open to silly shit and just enjoy it, sit back and enjoy it, I think most people will enjoy this show, except for probably women. To be honest, this is a boy ass anime if ever you see one. But
there's probably some women out there who got 100 girlfriends.
You might be right. But it's good, man. It's a really, really good show.
Yeah. So I completed, and it was funny because you said Shy. I completed Shy.
Okay.
And hear me out, bro. I know I gave it episode of the week once. And it had some really good, it had a couple of really good episodes, some really good pacing.
There's a couple times you gave it an episode of the week.
I think that it gave me a very underwhelming conclusion, right? Mm-hmm. Like definitely feel like there's going to be a season 2. It has to be, because it hasn't given a conclusion to an actual resolution.
Okay.
But the way that this season ended, it just felt inconclusive, obviously. Yeah, but I think the show is good, but the way that they kind of leave you, and I'm not gonna say it's a cliffhanger, but it's definitely a cliffhanger because they reveal like we already knew who the villain was, but then they reveal this, like, I'm not gonna say antithesis to the villain, but like this cohort, this
villain sidekick maybe.
Yeah, but they're not definitely a sidekick. They even say they might be more ridiculous than the villain. But it's just like it didn't really leave me with enough details filled in to feel like I'm excited to see season 2. I would definitely watch a season 2, but it didn't give me it didn't sink its teeth into me with that conclusion. So I could see myself also just rolling over and be like, nah, I'm good. I don't have to watch this next season. That sucks. Because I feel like they did a really good job up until that point.
That's interesting. I can see the disappointment on your face, actually.
Yeah, because it was like, it was such a good buildup to like this emotional like hero impact. And then it was like, okay.
So Shy, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to something we both watched and talk about. Let's go with A Return This Magic Should Be Special. Did you finish that?
Yeah.
I fucking loved it. I swear. And everything I say still stand to this day, that if this show has Shangri-La's animation and anime quality, it will be one of the most talked about shows this season, because story is spectacular. The characters are phenomenal. Where it's going, because it's going to be more with where it led to. Where it's going is going to be even more special.
That concept is great too, because so of how it plays out. Yeah.
Talk to him. It's like, it's so captivating within this story that watching it's a shame that watching it is so just stagnant. Like when you're watching it, it's like, and somebody said this on Twitter, and I'm sorry I don't have your tweet pulled up because it was from a while ago, but he said, yeah, every time I like the show, but it can't hold my attention. And I think because of the reason it can't hold your attention is because the animation is so lackluster. And not just animation when it comes to fight scenes or anything like that. It's just the way everything moves, period.
The movement is slow.
Yeah, movement is super slow and very still like. And I think if this show had some of the quality that Shangri-La has, it will be top tier.
Right.
Absolutely top tier. It's so good.
And to be fair, even like, because like on top of like JJK's other animation problems this season, the animation hasn't been the best that they've had. even if they just had the animation speed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the actual motion itself was higher paced, it would actually land a lot better. Because some of those attacks that we saw in this like final episode, I was like, man, this is like the final boss, and it don't feel like he's moving that fast.
Right.
And that's just like it's like Polow said, the quality of it. But the thing about this show, and I found myself thinking this while watching it, I'm like, he returned from the past, you know? And you would think that because he has memories of the past, like in the beginning, he kind of set up this like scenario where he was going to get cool with everybody. I'm like, it don't seem like he know exactly what's happening. And I like that it feels like he don't know exactly what's happening. And that's intriguing because it's like, is the future changing, or is the present, I guess, changing as things progress? And it's like the show has such an interesting concept to it that it's like, I really do wish that more people were like engaging with it.
Yeah. Because where it's taking it is, I'm gonna just say this, his method of going about this new opportunity has been spectacular to see, because he knows throughout living what he lived through, who's the one that could be, I guess, the strongest to help succeed in the end game quest, which was just in the first episode. So he has like the knowledge of know-how. He's like, okay, but these are also my homies, so I need to get them up to par. It's like, it's everything about it is top tier quality. Like a Returns magic should be special, is special, to be honest, because it's so very unique. It makes me want to read it, but because what I saw kind of confirms it's going to be more. And reading webtoons is so much easier than reading manga for me. So,
and his co-characters, his co-main characters. Yeah, I love them, bro.
Me too, bro. Me too.
Like obviously, and I don't even necessarily get the like the boy love concept. I don't feel like it's a boy love thing. I feel like it's literally just like a brotherly, like
older brother,
like an older brother. And then the girl, she's like infatuated with him, but like it's like the trust.
Yes.
I love it
and
because he's done nothing but facilitate and create the solidarity. And I was like, yo, I love that.
We don't get that a lot, bro.
I love these characters, bro. I do wish that they had more. I wish they had a better budget behind them, bro.
Arvo animation, bro. Oh, look at that. Right as I say that, the second season is already announced.
Let's go.
So it's already confirmed to have a second season. The cover is already up on AniList. I literally just refreshed AniList inside of the studio page, and it was just updated. So crazy. But yeah, season 2 is definitely announced for that. Speaking of another one, 100 Girlfriends did get renewed for season 2, which the way that ended, I can't fucking wait, because what it did was it was so clean. I guess you can watch it. So I'm gonna wait. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, spectacular, man. Spectacular. Return to Magic should be special. Everybody should check it out. I know the animation is kind of boring, because watching it just feels like it puts you to sleep because it's so stagnant. But I digress. Next one. It doesn't, right? The next one is The Rising of the Shield Hero season 3. What did you think about this season? And we are not going to go into spoilers because not a lot of people watch season 2 or finish season 2 because season 2 is so bad. But the general thoughts of season 3, what did you think?
It was better. Do I think it was like the highest quality anime I've watched in a while? Probably not. But I do think that it was a lot better. I hated the couple of episodes before we got to this point, because some of this kind of felt like it was just sprung on us. But I did enjoy this.
Yeah, I don't agree with that being sprung on us, but
What I mean by like the sprung on us is like, I feel like I feel like I'm gonna spoil it if I say too much. But I feel like this specific combat that we got just happened so rapidly.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just happened rapidly. Like it was like oh no, this can't happen. And all of a sudden, this can't happen. It was like, hold up. Like, really, have we been watched the whole time? And I get why, but I'm just saying, it just felt so like, no, this can't happen. And then it was like, oh no, other people are saying this can't happen. And it just felt very sprung.
I get it.
But I like where it's headed, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, contextually, I like where it's headed. And I like that it seems that there are people who are specifically geared to fight heroes, and it makes it like the heroes have to strategize better. And I would like to see that be utilized more, like make them work for it.
There's a lot that I enjoyed about this, what people said about season 2. And there's a couple of people, again, I don't have the tweets up. It was from a long time ago, but a couple of people who I respect, who said that, you know, season 3 wasn't bad. It was world building. No, it was bad. This season was world building. Or 2, sorry, 2. Yes. Season 2 was bad. Season 3 is actual world building. And I'm gonna tell you this. The direction, the new director is definitely noticeable compared to season 2. Mm-hmm. Like, if you watch season 2, the direction that goes is fucking, it's bad. It's bad. All over the place. And getting a new director is huge, because even with the lack of time, because this is a shorter season, even with the lack of time, he still managed to fit a lot in without some of it. Hear me out. Without some of it feeling this sprung on or rushed. Because what I think you were implying to was the lore we got at the very last episode that fucking did seem like it came out of nowhere, because it had to be fit in there, because leading into season 3. Season 4, sorry. It makes sense, but I did completely understand what you meant by that, because it felt like, what? But
it's dope.
Yeah.
But it was like, here you go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I get why, and it was a shorter time frame, because what this director did was he cut out a lot of the travel. He cut out a lot of stuff that would not be necessarily warranted, even though it's good to have, because it is some lore based on like locations and stuff like that. And I'm getting this from a video I watched, like some of the research I did last year for season 2, when I was trying to figure out why the fuck that was so bad. But it was, he did it right. He cut around right, basically, what I'm saying, which makes a lot of sense, even though it was still a lot of stuff missing, but in the best way. Because with the spear hero specifically, but we got a little bit of that in this last episode. But I enjoyed the season. I'm really looking forward to what's next, because it seemed like what's next is going to be kind of like the culmination of everything when it comes to the big bad, right? Which is the waves.
Some more development in that area. And that's what we initially believe we came here for, which is the main story, like plot point. Mm-hmm. But I like how they keep weaving other things in. And I do think that is huge developmentally for what we've been seeing. It's like I said, it's not that this season is bad. It's just like, that last moment was definitely just felt like it was sprung on us. But I like the concept of it, because it shows us that some of the characters that we may have thought were just like in bad situations for no reason were in bad situations for a reason. Yep. And it's dope. And I want to say, go ahead. You about to say something?
I was going to let you finish.
I wanted to say that I love when Polow says he watched a video about lore, because I did a lot of that with ReZero.
that I didn't do with ReZero, because
it was specifically for season 2, because I was like, yo, what's going on here? And I'm like looking at him like, yo, this is crazy. This is why ReZero is so fucking amazing. It's amazing. It's the perfect show.
It's deep, bro. Go ahead. We are validated in our love for that show.
That show is a fucking 20 out of 10.
Man, whole time. It's so we as soon as season 3 is coming up, we're going to rewatch the whole fucking thing and do like the alarm farm shit we used to do back in the day. A VR life, a certain dude's VR life. I just saw you set that as completed.
Yeah, I just had to go ahead and complete it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it for the most part last week, so not to harken back on that. It ended as No, as bad as it started, but it's still good to us. Okay.
Yeah, it's not. We and I hate that we got to reiterate this because we keep iterating and reiterating.
True. Because we got to be objective. Yeah,
it's not a good show. Not, and I'm not gonna say not by any means. You know what I mean? Because if it's enjoyable, then it's good. You know what I mean?
Some means, yeah.
But it's like it's not a good show in terms of like we know everybody shouldn't watch this.
Right.
I'm not gonna recommend this to someone who's watched all this high quality anime and think like, oh, you're just gonna. If you need something to turn on and just vibe out and just chill, not even vibe out, because I mean, it literally sometimes it is chill. Because I'm gonna tell you 100%. A lot of the things that I like literally just be like the crafting moments, bro. That'd be it for me. I'm like, yo, he crafting, he figuring out how he gonna do it. And I wanted more of that. I ain't even gonna lie to you. This could have been the crafting simulator.
I seriously, this is why I love Tell, because I feel the exact. There's a lot of times where we meet just fucking like head to head on stuff, and it's like in perfect sync because what he's saying is exactly the way I feel. It's just something you turn on and you're not expecting much, but you sit back, you relax, and you just watch. Objectively knowing, as I think not very, but prominent podcast host of an anime podcast, we can't objectively say it's good when we know it's not. Like, we know people won't like it the same way we do, but it's something about shows like this that makes us, we be chilling. We be
exactly. And it's funny because, like we said, we know we're gonna talk about the Saint's magic powers, Omnipotent, but it's like
that show's great though. Yeah,
but it's like, hear me out. It kind of comes off in that same vein, just not the same quality. You know what I mean? It's the same. It's the same concept in a lot of ways. Like, it's just a comfort anime, but it don't have the same quality.
It's so crazy. You be spitting, man. You be absolutely spitting. And what it is, and this is why I love this podcast, because what our job here is to find stuff like this. Because if we find stuff like this, then we know people may give it a chance, or they may not. Because they know it's not good, but they may give it a chance and be like, oh shit, you know what? Tell them Polow was right. And then like, I'm trying to tell you, like, this is the point. And every season we find so many shows like this that is just not good, but we still watch and enjoy. And I can't wait till next season, which is
because it might end up being a lot of that, or it might end up being a lot of good stuff that we just wasn't ready for.
Right. That's what makes the show special. All right. Undead Unluck is still continuing, so it's really hard to talk about that. It's still continuing, but I do want to say this. Shout out to Rob J for mentioning the fact that Unmove is fucking stupid. I agree. I think the entire power system is fucking stupid, but I did enjoy this episode more than I enjoyed previous episodes. And that's episode 12 of Undead Unluck. This show is not good. Okay, it's not good to Polow, and I know a lot of people like it. I'm sorry if this offends you, Scuba Steve. I love you, brother, but make sure y'all read Wake to Dead. But this show stinks, and it's mostly because of the power system. But this episode, I did enjoy more. I did enjoy this episode more than the previous episodes. I think the only other time I enjoyed an episode like this was when it was after this. It was when the Union was fighting Super Saiyan 3 Undead. So that was Victor. So that was cool. But something about this episode, and I think it's Fuko finally like coming out of her shell more. You know what I'm saying? Becoming more of a character herself instead of this, oh my God.
100%.
This lucky unluck girl. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm loving that.
She was 100% more of an accessory before this kind of moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
She literally was just, as she's always been, riding on someone's back, and then she has a moment. And I think that with the previous fight, the big fight, she had moments where she had like a main character moment where she didn't feel like an accessory, and this made her feel less of an accessory, like she's stepping into her bag. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And probably why I like this episode is because she's the best character in the show, but she's also the less utilized in the show, even though she's the most utilized. That doesn't make sense, but if you watch the show, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right. It makes sense.
But like, if they continue this trajectory of her becoming something more, because again, she is the best character in the show, everything else fucking stinks, then I think the show will be good. Good in the sense of, you know, it's whatever good. It's Akadama Drive, whatever good. No, I'm just playing. That show ain't good at all. Nah, you're right. You spitting.
The fight scenes in Akudama Drive was
fire. Yes,
but that's it.
That's about it.
I still don't know where that story thought it was going.
to go into something that's still continuing, Shangri-La is still continuing, and it's continuing to put me to sleep. But we finally are moving towards the best part about Shangri-La this week was meeting the family. His family is fucking dope. Especially, I love his mom. She's obviously the waifu, even though she got 2 seconds of screen time, but she's awesome. And that's the best part. The rest of it is we slowly fucking trekking towards this raid boss, which I guess is interesting, but
hear me out, because like I've always been kind of like, I thought Shangri-La was good, but not great, right? You know what I mean? Yes, I was like, okay, this is a cool watch. It was good, but not great. I feel like this specific episode, and I'm not gonna say this specific episode. The last couple episodes are what made me lean more towards the it's okay. Yeah, and I hate to say that because, and I'm not even gonna say it feels just okay because it feels like we talked about this development for 3 episodes at this point, and I get that we're trying to get there. But then our main character, he hits level 51 and we didn't even see how he fucking got there. We didn't see him go to the skill garden yet and work on his skills. I think that could be the most important part, the most interesting part. Because
he's probably going to go next episode because he just hit 51. Right. So
yeah, because he did. Yeah, he just hit 51. But it's like that. The fact that he skipped that, I thought was like, oh, okay, this could be interesting now because he's got these skills built up that he didn't even know could meld into different things. And I'm like, this could actually be interesting. Like I said, this could give me that crafting vibe that a certain players VRMMO Life was giving me. They could really utilize this to make this show feel like something different. And I feel like I hate to feel like they might drop the ball on that too.
They dropped the ball on the entire show because they're so, listen, I spent so much time researching Overlord that it made me jaded. Like the detail within that world doesn't exist anywhere else in the isekai space. Like other than SAO maybe, but like Overlord's detail within. And no, okay, yeah, ReZero, yeah, because I keep forgetting that's a fucking isekai myself. I'm a doofus, but yes, ReZero is the number one. But Overlord, like the detail within that world is so fucking deep that when I watch a show like this, where it's just a guy literally just throwing out criticals and magically killing shit of twice his level because of physical ability, it don't impress me. What impresses me is the way you get there, is how you utilize your tools, in which he was doing at the beginning at first, which is cool. And then it tapered off and it became this weird, he's getting hunted by other players because of, and it's just a bunch of dumb shit that's mixing into this show that's becoming nonsensical. Like we just got structure.
Right. And the worst part is that the concept that this is, a full dive isekai anime kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
What makes this suck to me, I could be entirely like disconnected from what makes this part suck for you, but what makes it suck for me is that the whole concept of this game is that you could have all the skill in the world and be amazing, and that's why the Lycagon fight was supposed to be so good, because this is a new player who skipped the whole intro tutorial city.
Yep.
Went straight to fighting a final boss like character, lost, but gain benefit from it, right? That's fire. That's crazy. And then we get to these moments where we talk about Weathermind and what this fight is supposed to be about, and it's like it almost feels like, is this an actual skill based game? Because it's like it's not really feeling like that. Yeah, the strategy and whatnot is there, but I feel like they're not really strategizing. Yeah. Like they're not really showing us that. So is that really what this game is about, or is it something else? Because I feel like they're not delivering on that concept, which could have been amazing as well.
What this show is, I think, trying to take pride in is it's trying to show you the strategy within the actual combat of the show. Like, right, it's during live combat that you're going to hear, this is what we're using this, and this is how we're using that, and this is what we're doing, how we utilizing that. And that's cool, that's fine, but it's been done before. And the difference is that it was done with way more interesting characters. Watch fucking Log Horizon. Log Horizon is fucking special. And the way, compared to this, it shits on this. Like, because Sunraku, or whatever the fuck his name is, Sunraku is so boring. Like, I have no attachment to him whatsoever. Like, he's not a likable guy, I don't think. There's, like I said, we just met his family, and they just gave us a little bit of lore into him 13 episodes in, where he's talking about, like, the way his family has a rule to where one day a week that they have to, you know, set their hobbies aside and focus on each other and have conversations with each other. That was the fucking coolest part of this entire episode.
Yeah, because it shows that they all really put their all into their hobbies,
which is cool, which makes them a little bit more human and kind of relatable. But after that, it was gone. It was just like that. We were back to this bullshit ass yelling and screaming at each other and strategizing with no strategic planning whatsoever being involved. It's a bad show, but I will say this: it's fucking gorgeous to look at. It's so pretty to look at. What a good looking show. If that's all I cared about, I'd be so happy. But I need more butter on my popcorn. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
some thick ass black lines, and I don't think that's all that impressive. But
it's not even it's not the black lines I care about. It's the way it looked. Like when they came through with that chick's grave, it looks beautiful. Like the way those flowers, it reminded me of Demon Slayer. Funny enough, it looked so good. But it's whatever, bro.
They do a great job of setting the mood for those scenarios. Like, because like I said, the Lycagon scenario, to me, they said did a great job of that. And then the funeral, even assessing like her clothes and how it looks more modern.
Yep. And her mentioning writing code.
Yeah, they did a great job of setting that up, but they don't do a great job of setting up like the rest of the show.
Yeah, facts. Big facts. Now Dr. Stone completed. Holy shit.
Hey,
this could have been episode of the week, to be fair.
Dr. Stone came out. They showed out.
They showed out, bro. I'm so happy. Editor Polow here. I just want to forewarn you that I completely divulge in spoilers of Dr. Stone season 3. So if you haven't watched season 3, fast forward till about 6 minutes. Okay. I'm sorry. I was in the moment. If you haven't seen Dr. Stone season 3, they're all spoilers. I was going to cut it out, but I'm like, nah, this conversation is too good. So sorry about the spoilers. Fast forward until you don't hear Dr. Stone anymore. Appreciate you. That is back to its roots. It feels so good. Like Tsukasa being back now is absolutely heartwarming and just special. Dr. Stone season 3 made up for season 2 being so terrible. I absolutely love this entire season. There hasn't been a time this season that dropped the ball for me personally. Season 3 is spectacular. And again, this goes to show you that I can change my mind on shit. You can too, internet and anime likers, watchers. You can change your mind. If something starts bad and it gets good, it's okay to say, hey, this was bad. Now it's good. It's okay. It's okay. There's no ego involved here. Just enjoy what you enjoy.
Yeah, Dr. Stone, yeah, bro, this season was through the roof for a lot of it, actually.
Yeah.
And then the Tsukasa, everything with that just felt good because it felt like it
full circle.
And I hate using the word humble, but it felt like a humble Tsukasa. Ooh. Like he was with it. You know what I mean? Like he was with the whole group. He was like, you know what?
We probably should cut this out.
I'm sorry, my bad.
I forgot. I just saw Rob J started watching it too, and that's a huge spoiler. That's a huge spoiler. Fuck, my fault, y'all. Because I mentioned it first. That's my fault. Because damn. But yes,
I was trying not to spoil too much. Because
you did a fantastic job. It's all on me, man. That's my fault. You absolutely fuck. It's great. It's a great season. I got so much to cut out there. Fuck.
I'm gonna move part of that to the very end.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to slide that in there. Holy shit, dog! Spectacular. Okay, and let's try to do some rapid fire real quick, if we can. Oh, I guess it's to the sleepers now, right? If we missed something, let us know. I was supposed to, and I want to apologize to y'all now. I was supposed to read off y'all sleepers. I'm gonna do that next week because we got a few late entries to sleepers. I'm gonna do that next week because this is kind of a jam-packed filled episode, so kind of want to keep it moving. But next week I am going to talk about your sleepers. So if you haven't given us a sleepers, make sure you follow us on Twitter at MikeCheckWaifu, and then we'll read your sleepers next week. Sorry it wasn't this week because again this episode is kind of flowing real good. So okay, starting with sleepers. You want to start with yours or mine?
We can start with mine.
Yeah, okay. Protocol Rain. I still don't know why it's called Protocol Rain. There's absolutely nothing Rain or Protocol involved. Maybe that's what the game is called that they play. That could be it. But they don't ever show us the name of the game, so I don't know. This show isn't good, but guess what? I enjoyed it. I'll admit it.
It had a way better ending than it had a beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The ending,
but you know why though, right?
Together.
You know why?
What's that?
Because you got invested.
But they had to give us something to actually invest into, like the psychological aspects of it with the sister, the actress finally saying, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and a lot of it was like it took us a minute to finally get the characters like to actually commit and feel like this was serious to them. And I was thinking this. It was the last 3 minutes of the show. I was like, why is it that they have the best animated scene they've had in the last 3 minutes of the show? And that was the characters getting animated like out of 3 or CGI, out of the 3D CGI into like coming in with the knife and slashing. I was like, why is that the best animated scene in the entirety of the show?
It was completely misplaced and should not have been there, period. But you're absolutely right. It didn't fit at all. But you're 100% right. It was the best piece of the show that they had the entire series. This show, like about 4 episodes, last 4 episodes, I became invested. And it's objectively bad. It's a bad show. It's literally a waste of time. Something about it is sad. It's sad that the potential that this could have had because I know why you picked it. Like the idea of watching an anime about an esports like team is fire. That's a fire idea. It's a unique idea. It's different from the typical VRs that you just full dive into. It's so unique. And I appreciate you again. I said this at the beginning of this season. I appreciate you for always picking shit that you have no fucking clue if it's going to be good or not, because it forces me to watch it. And when I watch it, it either comes out to be good or it doesn't. But in this particular case, it wasn't good, but I so glad I watched it. I'm so glad I watched it. And again, it's not good at all, but you know, I like the characters, you know, and they're not good characters. They're not deep characters whatsoever.
They came together as a team.
I like the way they came together, and it was just a feel good, you know. The villain was weird. All of that was weird, but
they could have cut him all the way out for real.
He didn't even need to be there whatsoever, and it would have probably been a better show. But yeah, all right, that was pretty good. And then our dating story. Experience you and then you experience me. A typical Polow sleeper pick, slice of life, romance. This show had some ups and downs. I told y'all about my emotional dive that I had last week. This one was just like a refreshing capstone that clearly is getting more seasons. But it was a refreshing capstone to a good story with great characters. And it's sad to see kind of like one of the characters basically get nothing, which I also enjoyed.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I ain't sad to me. That's what you get.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything about this show. It was great pick.
Yeah, bro. I think the wildest part about the show is that we heard so much about the parents, in a sense.
Yes.
And then we finally get kind of like a reveal.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, you're right.
And then we get this like moment, and it's like, yeah, this is why this girl is like traumatized and seeks men for validation.
100%. 100%.
It was actually a very good show.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Damn, how can I forget about that? It was like the most important moment. But it was great, man. It was a great show all around. I'm looking forward to what I pick next season. I don't think it's going to be as good as anything I've picked in years past, but I'm leaning towards it will be. Hopefully, we'll see. I don't know. I don't feel as confident as I did prior years. I'm gonna just put it that way. And that's that. Yu Yu Hakusho. Fuck.
Man, it's thick, huh?
Yeah, it's a thick episode. We're an hour deep. Yu Yu Hakusho. Live action. 5 episodes on Netflix. I watched it with my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And she enjoyed it, I think, more than I did.
Of course. I know exactly why.
But I will say, I want every anime live action Netflix to be done with this animation quality. There is something about this animation quality that was uncanny. It was so, and I'm gonna just start by saying, I'm gonna start with the positives. We're gonna go into spoilers about it too. So if you haven't seen live action Yu Yu Hakusho, or if you just don't care, continue listening. It was so well done. Okay. Like fight scene choreograph wise, animation, like, so like whenever they would do CGI shit, it was beautifully done. It, like, motherfuckers look like they was really getting hurt. And I think that's just because of like Asian like actors, they be in that shit, like, for real. So go ahead.
I feel like they're all method actors.
100%. Like they be getting thrown into them walls. They be getting fucked. Like, it looks like they be taking a beating.
Yeah, Yusuke felt like he walked like Yusuke. Kuwabara felt like he walked like Kuwabara.
Sure.
I felt like these characters were like in that element, and they may have actually just like watched the entirety of the show and then said, "All right, I need to mimic this." And it felt like they were in that bag for sure.
I'm not even talking that deep though. I'm talking like the fight scenes itself. When somebody get punched, it looked like they got fucking punched. Like you and. Right. And I'm just going to draw a lot of comparisons to One Piece because obviously that's the most recent live action. One Piece, like, those fight scenes are complete dookie compared to what we just watched. And again, I'm talking about animation style. I'm talking about like the way the CGI it was so beautiful. Like him getting hit by Truck Kun, spectacular. It looks
that was crazy. I was
so
like, oh my goodness.
Oh my God, damn.
He dead for real.
And I have an eye for like the cinematography shit. Like when I see green screen shit, I see green screen shit. When I see CGI being as like, it's so clearly obviously CGI that it looks bad, like it did in One Piece. Like a lot of the times, dude, it was times in this where I'm like, it was CGI. It was clearly it was going to be CGI, but it looked so fucking good that I'm like, this is unbelievable. And I got this beautiful 4K 55-inch LG TV, and I'm sitting right up front of the motherfucker like, this is gorgeous, man. This is like, it was one of the most beautiful shows I think I've watched live action wise.
They sold it. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yes, there it is. That's the perfect way to describe it. They sold that shit. Every action they sold, every fight they sold. And then to piggyback off of what you said, they were in these characters. They were inside of these characters. They felt like Urameshi, and the only one I didn't kind of believe was Hiei. I feel like he was a little off.
You
exactly. Like Hiei just felt like real. I don't know. It was like too hard.
It felt like they tried to make him a live action Sasuke. Like, and I get that's kind of what he was supposed to, but it was bad. Like, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah. Even the dub voice actor was not great. too.
Did you watch it in English?
Yeah, of course.
Like and obviously because I think it was originally translated, it was originally Japanese, right?
Of course, yep.
I didn't think the dub voice acting was bad.
No.
Obviously, when you do the live action thing, you can't match the words to the mouth. It's not going to match perfectly. They can try.
Yeah,
it just ain't.
One short sentence that's like, come over here is a lot more words in Japanese. So it's impossible for you to match the words. So once you get past that mentally, it's fine. Like you get past it quickly. You just kind of like, okay.
And that was for me, that was fine. But it was like the delivery for Hiei was not great. Mm-hmm. But there was the way that they, like I said, they had so much impact on certain things. Like I felt like the actual intro where they showed Yusuke's like death and everything, they skipped over a lot. But I feel like for anime onlys, you know what I mean? Like if you never watched the anime, if you never watched it, right? This was actually like the first episode I think was on point. Now I do think that if you had never watched this, you would still be like, I feel like they're flying through a lot of this, bro. Because like I don't know how Hiei to me was the least convincing for, like I said, and that's probably why his character felt so bad. He was the least convincing for why he was even in this group.
100%. While in the anime, it was much more time to believe and
right.
And yeah, it's so different because again, like you said at the like I said at the beginning of this, like I watched it, my girl, she enjoyed it a lot more than I did. Now she said she watched it before, obviously, but it was in Taiwan and she was like 11, so she obviously don't remember everything. But like the thing with it is, like you said, if you have never seen the anime, this show is probably spectacular to you, because it has a beginning, middle, and end. It flows relatively nicely in the sense where it's not completely rushed. But if you watch the anime, bro, this was absolutely awful when it comes to the pacing and structure of the entire show. It was so bad, and I'm saying this, and I'm speaking objectively here because while everything I said positive, I truly believe in. I'm glad I watched it, but everything else, it was terrible. And the reason why I say that is because, like you said, they cut out so much.
This shit was going faster than truck cone.
Bro, listen, this shit was going 90 in a 45. It was so crazy how fast this shit went.
90 in a school zone, you mean?
Bro, like, and this is what I said to my girlfriend. I told her, I'm like, listen, I did not like it. Well, I mean, I liked it. It was fine. But this is the reason why and what they could have done. Okay, and I'm going to explain this to you. Maybe you'll feel me, maybe you won't. But they could have done everything almost the same, right? Everything almost the same until the last part. Because you know the last part where they fight Toguro in that area. When I saw Kurama and Hiei come fight Toguro, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because they didn't fight with Yusuke during that time. I'm like, what the fuck why are they fighting together?
This is Yusuke's time to flex.
Exactly. This didn't make any sense, but I digress. They could have got to that point and Yusuke could have fought Toguro and they could have stuck to the plan. Because you remember in the show, they say, are we changing the plan? Toguro said, are we changing the plan? And he said, yeah, we're changing the plan. If they stuck to the plan like they did in the anime where he lost intentionally so they can get the money from those bidders, if they would have stuck to that original plan, they could have stopped it right as Yusuke won and said, like, and mentioned the fact that this was all part of the plan or some shit, and then left us on a cliffhanger to go into season 2, and season 2 could have been a whole dark tournament. Like it would have fit perfectly because you take season 2 and then you make him do that a different training session with Genkai, or no, when they sent him off somewhere. It was with Genkai again to train again, and that's when he got the wave orb. Like it was so much more they could have done. They could have had a season 2 for a show that started off so spectacular that they didn't need to rush it. Like you couldn't let this. Go ahead.
That would have slowed down that pacing, like you said. They didn't need to rush it. That would have given them so much more time to develop things. Like, why do we even care about Hiei? Bro,
yes, that. Why did they kill Toguro in the first fucking, like, there's no more. There's literally no more you could do. Because if you skip into the Black Book arc or whatever the fuck it was called, like, that shit was terrible. It won't translate well, I don't think, to live action. It was the most boring arc in the entire series. But, like, the Dark Tournament, you make into this weird, oh, I'm gonna go this way, you go this way, and let's fight. And they fight these people that, it was so, the potential was so there. And it's not like bad like Dragon Ball Z Evolution or Last Airbender or Death Note. It's not those kind of bad. It's just bad in the sense because the potential was like, the characters are fantastic. The way they acted out the characters are great. The dub voice acting is spectacular, even though they have all this, the mouth movement problem or whatever. They all did such an incredible job. And shout out to my the main voice actor from Ichiban and Like a Dragon, one of my favorite Yakuza games, being Toguro. What a great voice pick. Great choice. But I digress. Go ahead. Yeah,
the dub voice actors felt like they fit the overall like characters, like how they fit in the dub, in the real anime dub. But so I sent you that picture, right? I wanted to talk about that because I said, what did y'all think of it? Talking about Yu Yu Hakusho. Our boy CJ, my bro, our bro. Personally, it was condensed, but overall, it didn't disappoint. Right. So like it was very condensed. Not disappointing in like we said, we talked about the combat of it. It did not disappoint that the characters were in their bag when it came to the acting.
Everything
even like
was great.
I felt like the lighting aspects of it, a lot of that was
gorgeous,
on point, bro. So I was like, yeah, I agree with that. And then Atticus, he's in Japan right now. He said it was too much blending and rushing of the story, and that's what we said. It definitely is rushed, and there were some things they could have done to like rectify that. You know what I mean? Like as Polow said, they could have not necessarily had him beat Toguro there, because the Toguro brothers were supposed to be a highlight. They're an extremely high point of the show, and to have them go out that quickly was a lot. That was a bit much. And then Vicky. So I think it's pretty good, but not nearly as good as One Piece. The actress they chose for Botan annoys me. The costumes look a bit rushed and ill-fitting on some. Like they definitely look like cosplayers. And hear me out.
Botan was fantastic. I absolutely loved her. Loved her voice actress.
It felt like Botan to me.
Totally.
And I ain't saying I'm right, but felt like Botan to me.
It really did. I wish they would have did her outfit changes though.
Because she always is changing.
She was so fresh too. She was the freshest one in that show.
But like we said, to me, the most cosplaying character felt like fucking Hiei.
Yes, man. Hiei felt like a cosplayer, bro.
Because even Kurama didn't feel like he was too out of place. It felt like that was just Kurama because that's what we expect from him.
His dub voice actor was clean. He's played a multitude of main characters that I enjoy. So sorry. Yeah,
but 100%. It's like some of this, like, so I agree with some of this that they're saying, but it's kind of funny because it definitely has clear. You can see who, like, I'm not gonna say you can see, but you can tell, like, when we watched it, we have very specific like insights on it, because like a lot of us who already watched Yu Yu Hakusho, we're not disappointed in anything other than the fact that it was just fast.
It was so fast.
That's just the nature of these Netflix remakes, is that some of them, they go really fast. That's why it's going to be good to see like the actual One Piece Wit remake will be extended and not be one of these super fast, like get out of the way in 5 episodes kind of deals. But this is not, like I said, it wasn't bad, but where do we go next from here? What do we do? What's the next arc? Are we even gonna get another arc?
It's done, Till. That's it. Like there's nowhere you can go. Like absolutely nowhere you can go from this. Like you cannot condense and consolidate the Dark Tournament into this weird rescue mission. Like it never happened that way. It won't. You can't go nowhere else. And I'm telling you, if they just treated this island, Kukukubori island part, like they did in the anime, and made it to where he beats a girl on like a weak spirit gun like he did in the anime, and it was like the girl's down and the guys lose all their money, and then the credits roll, right? And you show a fucking Marvel after credit scene of the girl getting up. He's like, was that good enough for you or some shit like that?
That's what I was expecting. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was expecting that.
Me too, until he turned into dust. And I'm like, I knew it wasn't going to happen when I started to see, like, when he killed Genkai. I'm like, okay, well, that's there's no dark tournament because you can't have a dark tournament without Genkai. But I'm like, okay, maybe she's not actually dead though, because in the anime she got her ass beat, but she didn't die. You know what I'm saying? But even still, she didn't get her ass beat until after the second training session in the dark tournament. So it's like, hold on, man, hold on. It was very, very confusing, and they could have did the tournament. They could have brought the dark tournament, and maybe it's a budget thing because they look like they spent a lot of fucking money on this show, like a lot of money on this show.
It definitely could have been trying to condense it to make it enjoyable for like Western viewers, because let's be real, some of us who have Netflix have not watched anime, and like I think we talked about this with like the One Piece thing. When you haven't watched anime, because have you been? I don't think you follow Kev on Stage, the comedian dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He been talking about Attack on Titan for fucking 2 weeks, bro.
I love that.
Blowing through stuff, and it's like when you're not naturally introduced, it's like we've already been in this culture of things, right? Like they got to make it enjoyable and condensed enough for like people who, and I hate to say it, have a shorter attention span to like enjoy.
But you don't think my method would have still worked with that though?
100%, I think it would have worked, but like I'm saying, that's if they wanted more of a bag. I don't know if they did.
I think the bag they spent, you might be right, because the bag they spent is probably so much that it's like if we try to do the dark tournament arc like they did in the anime, you got to get other demons in the crowd, you got to get like other people's powers working in a way that's like probably millions of dollars an episode. So maybe that is the case. Like, but it's over. There's no reason to have more, even though I think for Netflix this was an absolute success.
Yeah. I guess that's the final conclusion. It was a success for Netflix.
It was a success, absolutely. While again, there's nothing I will say this is a live action that I would not say is bad, because again, if you didn't watch the show, this was a great show.
I mean, all they had to do is be better than Dragon Ball.
Nice beginning, middle, and end. I think I'm gonna be real with you, and I'm gonna try to be as subjective as I think I liked it more than One Piece until the ending.
Yeah, and
that's just me being honest. I loved One Piece live action; it was good, but I think I liked this better until I figured out all of this condensed shit was going to be this. That's it.
Stayed condensed, yeah. Yep. There was no more unraveling, and 100%, yeah. I think I agree, because the fights, everything felt way more impactful. The characters felt like, and I'm not saying that the characters from One Piece didn't feel like One Piece characters, but these characters, they felt like Yu Yu Hakusho characters, bro. They felt like this was the 80s, 90s in Japan.
And that's why, though, I think, and I feel the opposite as you. I do think the characters in One Piece did not feel like the characters in One Piece, except for Zoro. Like everybody else.
I'm not going to say they didn't fit, but I'm saying that for sure these Yu Yu Hakusho characters.
Right.
Bro.
Right. And that's why I'm just saying that's why I like it better than One Piece. Because One Piece, like Nami didn't feel like Nami. Sanji didn't feel like Sanji. Luffy kind of did, and Zoro really did. But everybody else was like, you know, but that's the reason why I feel like I like Yu better per se until the condensed shit. But it's whatever. I'm so sad because I wanted to like it more, because I'm watching. Right. I'm like, I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there next to my girlfriend. She's like, I'm sitting like, what the fuck? And she's like, what? I'm like, I didn't want to say anything. Obviously, I wanted to let it ride out first because she ain't gonna know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, it's not. It's ruined. And then when I explained it to her, she was like, "Oh, that's why your attitude completely changed, because I was enjoying it all the way up until like."
And then you threw your hands up.
Exactly right. Like, what the fuck is this, man? Yeah, no, totally right. Because when we started walking down the dragon's back to go to hell or whatever, it was like, come on, man, come on. It's what a disgrace. All right. You know what? Let's do spoiler. Do you want to do spoiler talk?
You want to jump right into it?
Yeah. Well, no, we're gonna take a quick break because I gotta play the break song. I had to do it. We're gonna take this quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna spoil Eminence and Shadow's ending. I think we should start with that. And you want to let's do something else that ended and wrap it up there. Let's do Dr.Stone.
Let's do it.
We'll be right back after these.
Shut it down when it start, when I need me, no. Tell my mama all the time on the TV, no. Fuck around, stay loud, if you see me, no. That shit kinda tedious. I'm a minute for some time, gon' easy, yeah. Send my shawty FaceTime, can you see me? Oh, no, yeah. Girl, I'm in your city. Know you heard about it, let me get it on T. And you know I'm holding out for the G63. Yeah, she wanna Louis and a VV. Riding around the city. Know you heard about it, let me get it on T. And you know I'm holding out for the G63. All the greed and the lust, cause you want a piece of the pie, All that shit is bleeding me dry, I don't want your piece in the voice, Hold it down for me, Niggas act like bitches all the time. These days, I ain't even gon' lie, don't let me down. I've been throwing these hundreds on a dime. Spent 7 on that ring, no wedding vows. All that smoking made me tired. 22's a call it Tyra and Mariah. Talk about my lows and all my highs. Been trying to see the light, this shit is quiet. All the greed and the lust, cause you want a piece of the pie, All that shit is bleeding me dry, I don't want your piece in the voice, Girl, I'm in your city. Know you heard about it, let me get it on T. And you know I'm holding out for the G63. Yeah, she wanna Louis and a VV. Riding around the city. Know you heard about it, let me get it on T. And you know I'm holding out for the G63.
And welcome Black to episode 234 of Mic Check Waifu.
Still gotta put down a shirt.
So, Eminence and Shadow, which was the final episode, which was 12, right?
Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, it looks like it was 12. I think. Just clicked on Saphir's profile. I'm trying to click on Eminence and Shadow. He just completed it. I hate it that it says completed, but it doesn't say. I think it's 12. 12 episodes. Either way. Either way, it's the completed series of Eminence and Shadow. Now, what I was mentioning earlier that I wanted to get into before we continue is the implications of this episode and the lore that they dropped was huge, because the one Eminence and Shadow was doing this Eminence and Shadow thing. Some big monster gets summoned. Shadow pulls up, saves the day, destroys it. But it was a conversation between the guy that summoned the big monster and the Shadow Garden, 2 of the 7 in Shadow Garden, which is Epsilon and Beta. He was literally lore dumping in the middle of this fight, which was crazy, which is so parody like. It's so fucking funny. But the lore he dropped was that the fact that the cult of Diablos knew of these intertwining dimensions of worlds coming together at certain instances within the universe or this particular world itself, and the reason why like dinosaurs got wiped out or something like different worlds combining, and or even implications of how Sid got reincarnated into this whole new world during that time. And the moment he got reincarnated into this whole new world, sent mana over to Earth, which is why Earth looked like that at the very end of this most recent episode. But there's like a time dilation because Sid was he was reborn from childhood all the way up. So I can't wait to see how they explain that. But it's the way that they drop that lore that's like, yo, Eminence and Shadow is deep. What?
That's why they deserve a movie.
That's exactly why they deserve a movie. Because now, for one, how do you think Sid's going to react at being Earth as Shadow? Like, do you think he's going to want to go back?
Nah, oh, you mean do he want to go back to the other world?
Mm-hmm.
Man, because I feel like his whole objective is to be like a background character, but still like a main character kind of thing. I think that in the state of the current Earth, he would have to rebuild it, and that would make him too much of a main character.
You might be onto something, but the girl recognized him,
right, as she should. And I swear we talked about that because she got sent back to Earth, and we was like, is he gonna ever see her again? Because it felt like there was an incomplete story there. We talked about that, like there was an incomplete relationship that we never got to finish there, and now here it is, back in our face again at the end of the finale.
Yeah,
it's like they set us up with like, and hear me out. This is genius. We've talked about this before. This is a masterclass, in my opinion. They definitely set us up for some greatness with that, sending us back to Earth. With obviously Sid being who he is, and even how they delivered, like you said, that lore dump, to even let us know why all of this can correspond and happen. This was definitely, to me, like, this felt like Eminence and Shadow was definitely in a whole other bag. This wasn't like
right.
This wasn't like a something that we would normally pick as a sleeper, like, kind of bag. This is like a big time anime. Yeah.
Like it truly opened up. What it did was it opened up with this. It was literally fucking 4 minutes of him just spewing out this symbol of stuff. And like, as he was explaining, I'm like, oh, that could make sense. Like the moment he was about to get hit by a truck, or the moment he died, the world converged, and it just happened to open up a something that bring him through. Like it and how that world started off as basically a normal Earth until the world converged, and it brought mana into the world, which brought monsters into the world. I'm like, Eminence and Shadow. Like, this is a surface level anime about a guy who pretends to be a background character, but he's really OP, who knows nothing about what's actually going on. This was going to be Overlord Light, but this just turned into Overlord Plus, because it is a lot more deeper than what we thought.
And that's crazy.
Go ahead.
It's crazy because it came from the same character who was in a tournament taking hits, trying to show every way he could feign death, act like he was about to die, to the character. And hear me out. Every time he says I'm atomic, you know how I feel that in my heart. It hit me right in the heart every time.
Dude, and I heard it dubbed for the first time. So good.
Oh no, this is fire. But it's what makes it so good is even how we even got to the dump part was you said was alpha and beta. Mm-hmm.
Epsilon and beta.
Epsilon, how they even got to the point to talk to Guy, because he thought that it was sweet, and ain't nobody in Shadow Garden sweet. None of them. Also, this whole season has been misdirection with Shadow Garden believing that Shadow is doing something else. He's doing something else. We don't know what's going on.
10 steps ahead, yeah.
He's always been ahead. Even though he don't know he's ahead, he's always been ahead. He's just in the situation to where it establishes that motive or that motion. And they're like, well, if you're so sure that you're going to win this, just give us the details anyway. Tell us what's going on. And even all the information, it was new information for them. So it was very relevant and important. It was confirmation is what they were going for. Mm-hmm. But we get that confirmation. And then we see we see him take out Ragnarok, and we end up getting to that, he does the atomic, I am atomic. And it opens up, that moment. And it was funny because he just pokes it. He's like, what? And gets sucked in. And it's like, we're in this moment, we get back to the old Earth that he was from, and it's desolate, ruined. And they didn't give us enough detail, right? And I love how they didn't give us too much detail. We just know that it is in a state of ruin right now. We do know that
magic is in the world.
Yeah, and magic is in the world, because they did give us that deposition before. They gave us the information beforehand, mm-hmm. And it just builds up this like sense of whatever it is, we know Shadow's gonna be able to handle it. But I also feel like, is he gonna be able to handle it?
Yes, hell yeah,
100%. We know it,
because what it is he brought. Okay, not only did he get ported back, he goes to the same warehouse with the same mm-hmm. girl who was his classmate, getting mm-hmm. attacked by the same people she was attacked by last time, to mm-hmm. get revenge. And it just so happened that he popped. It's a funny coincidence, but it's so good. It's so good, like unbelievable. I cannot wait for this movie. It is. It's insanely good, man. It's insanely good. Perfect capstone to a season that, while was slower than last season, I think, but world-wise, like as far as establishing where Shadow is in the ecosystem of the entire world, I think them determining, like, you know, the Goshi place, the department store, and all the background shit that they do is so vital to what is going to be continuing on from here on out. It's so dope, man. I love that part. I
could be wrong in saying this, because I would have rated this season better than the first season. Even though the first season had more episodes and everything like that. To me, this season, just like we said, the world building and even getting to these points and understanding how things are happening. To me, this season was just, overall, I would have said it was better.
Yeah, no, I disagree, only because of the fact that, like, having just more Shadow is always better.
Yeah.
And because of the fact, like, watching him go from 0 to basically what he is now in the way that we did in season 1, I think is a little bit more validating than what we got this time, which was just background character stuff for the most part. And then him kind of cleaning up essentially these huge messes in 0.2 seconds, which is the culmination of all the power that he gained in season 1, building up to the second half of season 1. Like, the way season 1 build up, I think is almost flawless, to be honest, because it builds up to that last episode where he's fighting 2 people and destroying them, body bag them, and embarrassing the one chick. It was just great. But this is about season 2 being just as good, or you say better, I say about the same. I did enjoy the lore building more though this season for sure. But great show overall, great show, great finale. Movie, I'm looking forward to it, and I said everything I needed to say up at the beginning about that.
100%.
And then Dr.Stone. Bro, how fucking perfect was this season? Like, both parts.
Dr.Stone took off.
Man. I will say, like, still the outrageous way that these experiments make no logical sense whatsoever. It's okay. It's okay, because they still kept what was important about Dr.Stone in season 1, and that's Senku and every character around him being shepherded by Senku and trusting him and believing in him, and shit just happening. The story moving forward at a consistent base is what made this season so spectacular, unlike season 2.
And what you just said, the trust in Senku is what drove this season a lot of times. Because like we said, with the fist pump everybody did, that was everybody trusting Senku. Even when it came to unfreezing Tsukasa, that was trusting Senku. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that in this final episode I was like, what? Was everybody putting their hand on the stone thing, the little petrification beam?
And why they didn't get petrified?
Yeah, I'm like, come on, bro. Y'all all supposed to be turned to stone.
Yeah, what the hell? What the hell is that
but
about?
It was still, I mean, for story purposes, it was like it relayed the message they were trying to get across. So I thought it was still good. Yeah. But this season, it was the propulsion. It was all about, like you said, the way it moved, because there was never really a too much downtime to figure out what the next experiment was. It was the downtime was figuring out, all right, how to
handle a situation. Yes.
Yeah, how do we handle this? And we get there and we handle it, and then we figure out this is information. There's information, or there's someone on the moon, and that's where we have to go. And that's where, like you said, Senku has always been trying to get to, and it makes it wilder because we get this theory craft amongst them where they're like, okay, well, we have to figure out how to start reviving all 7.8 billion people who were on Earth before this happened, and get to the moon.
Yeah. And I even love the fact how Tsukasa even touched on the fact, like, there's not going to be any problems. Like his whole character growth is exactly that. It's character growth, because he used to be like, nah, I'm only saving strong people that will follow my, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was so different. And after the Stone Wars, which is, again, the only episode that really mattered was the last episode, of that entire season. And the fact that they continue on from there with his character growth that he had, was special. I think was probably it was great.
Yeah, it's like, and it's nice to see that they didn't revert his character to something that was like just worse. You know what I mean? 100%. Like they didn't make him diminutive. So it was nice to actually get that this forward progress with that. Like I said, this whole season was about propulsion, and it was how they continued that motion, and it even getting ready for this, right? They didn't dwell on how things were being built. They gave us moments like with the globe thing being built, but they didn't make it feel like we're going to be spending an entire episode trying to figure out how this is getting built.
Which was cool at first to establish the complexity of his genius. Like that was cool as setup to then lead to this, but just going through like the season through, it went through all of that about some bullshit, like a tire or whatever the fuck, an entire episode of that. Like it's so good. Sorry. But
no, you're right. But now we know he's a genius. It's established. Let's keep it moving though.
Exactly.
And it's funny. Like we're going to need all this alcohol. And they're like, well, I mean, we can always use vodka and all that stuff. And it's like, nah, bro, we need alcohol to revive 7.8 billion people or 7 billion people on the planet. Yep. And they're establishing where they're going to go for certain reasons. And it's like, we're heading to America.
Yep. Love it, man. Absolutely love it. Dr. Stone has been one of the highlights of this season for me.
It's crazy.
Because there's nothing better than being disappointed in this show and then flipping on it. Because then you're like, okay, I'm glad something that I'm spending my time on and investment into these characters are actually enjoyable. But like, for real, I'm at Polow Bornfly on all social media.
I'm at King Telly on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mike Check Waifu on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And as always, Mike Check.
You're now tuned into Mike Check Waifu. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you?